What's going on, guys? My name is Nicholas Merton here at Data Dash, and today is August 1st of 2017. So guys, as you all know if you watch my videos, I love getting feedback in the comments below about what coin I should cover next. And guys, it seems like over the past half of July, there's been nothing but requests for this coin. It is no other than Populous. You guys have asked a lot about this on my channel, and I'd love to cover it, especially because of one reason, guys. When I was going about researching this coin on YouTube, on its website, and just generally on the general web and the internet of things, I couldn't find much info on it. Really, you would think you'd find a good YouTube video on it. You would think that their website does a pretty decent job, or they'd have a video that kind of markets the product. No, there's literally practically nothing. If there was something, it was extremely drawn out, and it didn't do a good job of summarizing the major concept of Populous for the average individual, which I think a lot of cryptocurrency investors might have a hard time understanding. Not being insulting to you guys, it is just literally not marketed that well. So I want to do as best as I can, though it will not be perfect, and though I will not be able to cover everything. I want to try to do the best I can in a short period of time to cover it. So let's not wait any longer, guys. Let's go through the numbers real quick. The market cap is sitting around 132 million. Definitely a nice, well-developed market cap, edging towards a mid cap. So we've got good volume here, almost sitting at a million over the past 24 hours. And I love the circulating to max supply numbers, guys. Not only are we closer towards the max supply end, but that max supply number, oh, perfect. I like that limited supply, 53 million. So as we can see here, when the ICO came out mid-July, that's why a lot of people were requesting it, we had a big spike up in valuation, and then it sunk down, and we've been having a slow increase over time. Well, actually, I wouldn't say slow. Definitely a nice, steady increase over the past few weeks of July. So what is building this optimism behind it? What's the target market it's going for? Does it have a good dev team? We'll talk about all that, guys. So I've got the website right here, and if you go on Populous's website, not only does it not have a really kind of beautiful design to it, I'm just going to say it looks kind of old, the background's very pixelated. That being said, web design isn't everything, guys. The biggest flaw here is that it says right at the start, sell your invoices online and take control of your cash flow. Okay, I'm going to be honest in saying this, and this is why I was talking about like general crypto investors earlier. I'd say that 90% of you don't even understand what that means. And that's not an insult to you. That's because I'm saying that because unless you're a small business owner or someone who works in the finance sector, you really shouldn't know about what this means. And that being said, they really did not do a good job marketing. That's my biggest critique of Populous. As much as I'm going to tell you guys why I'm optimistic on the technology and everything, they did not do a good job of branding it. And that's a very important job in getting a cryptocurrency out there. So, anyways, guys, that's my just opinion I have to get across. I'm always usually positive on coins. However, I will be negative when it's necessary. Let's go ahead and look at the white paper, because there isn't really much good resources out there where I can go into detail and explain this to you guys. So, we're here on the Populous white paper. You can go on the website. They have it in the top tab if you guys want to follow along. So, the abstract does a great job of talking about the general target that it's going for. So, guys, basically in the business world of things, whether you're here in the United States or you're across the world, each business usually has gap periods from when they get payments from consumers, usually taking somewhere between 30 to 60 days, and sometimes taking much longer than that, like 90 or 180 days. Usually big evens like that they give customers, whether it be business to business or business to consumer. Either way, there's going to be that gap period in a lot of times where they give people and their consumer basis time to pay back expenses for the company. So let's say, for example, I have a small business, and I sold you 1,000 pieces of lumber. I'm a lumber company, and I sold you 1,000 logs. Well, that's a big purchase, and you might not have all the money up front, so I'm going to give you some time to pay it down. And that gap period between might hurt my cash flow. Now, what does that mean? Well, basically speaking, let's say, for example, look, I just got a huge customer order for 50,000 logs. A lot of people are liking my brand so far, and I've got to sell them those logs. However, I don't have the cash to buy the equipment to cut down all those things. I'm waiting for my customer to give me the money I need to buy that equipment. Well, what I can do is I can reach out towards a lender, or a short-term lender more specifically, who can give me that money so I can go about doing my business as usual, and then I'll pay them back when I get the cash from my customer. Makes sense, right? And it's just to keep things flowing. It's to keep the blood going in the economy, to keep the money flowing. And it's a very smart and necessary part of any functioning economy or business. So, that being said, there's a big issue here, guys. with small and medium enterprises, this is becoming more and more dependable day by day, okay? And with large transaction periods waiting for their consumers to pay down, this has become a $3 trillion industry, a massive market, guys. However, it's been controlled by a very select few companies and a few select entities in the corporate world. And because of that, rates aren't the best that they really should be. They're not competitive, and it's not embracing a new type of lending that has really been taking over the general finance scene known as peer-to-peer lending. Now, what's the difference between peer-to-peer lending comparative to normal lenders? Well, whereas XYZ Bank, a large, gigantic corporation, might lend out these kind of short-term loans at whatever rate they feel fit, peer-to-peer lending is relatively competitive and it's diversified, meaning that you and I, let's say for example, we had someone with a small business, and they sell clothing, they sell shirts, and they have $500 in that kind of gap time period, meaning they have $500 they're waiting for a consumer to pay back, or one of their distributors to pay back to the company. Well, what we could do is we could give them that short-term loan, you and I. Why don't we both give $250 to equal that $500 and cover that temporarily, and then we'll make a measly little nice little interest rate on it, probably much less than the bank. And this is where peer-to-peer lending usually wins and why a lot of companies are going towards it. So, where does this all tie into Populous, guys? I'm sorry I had to really describe the conceptual basis. It's just to understand it, because it is something that's not what every individual could probably understand it right up front. Well, that being said, guys, there is a lot of companies that are requiring this. And what Populous is trying to do is it's trying to take that industry and bring it on the blockchain and bring it to a decentralized status where we as individuals can participate in helping to invest in these companies with our Populous, or the actual coin itself. So it's a really interesting concept, and I think it's going to attract a lot of companies. Now, what's really cool about Populous is it has a lot of automated processes on measuring, what companies that are safe to do this for, what are safe to invest in, and it's basically in a category of financial measures under what's known as XBRL, okay? And XBRL has become a growing way to actually analyze company information and financial statements. So, what are some of those ways? Well, there's a really cool formula they use called the Altman Z-score. And this is a way to measure the potential levels of bankruptcy for a company. So this is automatically built in the system. They have systems that read this and measure companies to make sure that you're not going to be investing in any high-risk clients. And people who are consistent, have good financials, and are known to pay back on time, and actually are serious actual clients that even exist in the first place. So it tries to cut out fraud and things of the sort. And then in XBRL, when companies input their information, it's all very clear and transparent to read. This video right here is really good if you're still not really getting an idea. Oops, sorry, I had the video down there. This is a great video to go check out, guys. If you don't know what XBRL means, it's pretty much a certain sense of tags or a language that companies input the matching information into. So it's easily processed, pushed in, and it can be analyzed very quickly. So, and they also, to add one more thing that they used when I was reading the white paper, they also use clustering, which is a form of data science and machine learning and measuring out, well, you could just actually technically consider it analytics as well, but it's basically measuring out what would be a good client to work with, what wouldn't be. So they have a lot of checks and balances in the system, which is really cool. And it's bringing it all to a peer-to-peer system on the decentralized blockchain where we can participate in it, guys. So, really interesting concept. Now, as I scroll down here, I'm trying to find, there's one last thing I wanted to look at. So yeah, they're all doing this through smart contracts as well. This is what I wanted to talk about. So, smart contracts establish the rules, much like any traditional smart contract, on how to execute things, how much Populous we probably be giving to someone, etc. And it's really cool. I think that this has a lot of potential, guys. The biggest thing that I have now that I've kind of generally talked about the concept, I hope you guys get it, and if you still don't get it, please feel free to leave a comment below. I'll try to explain it a little bit better. I want to go back to the website here. As I stated before, the biggest problem with this coin is that as much as there might be a select few people who really get what this coin is going after and might be really putting some big money behind it, average everyday investors are going to be worried about investing in this, in my opinion. There's not much detail to it. I can't blame them, though. They have a relatively small team at Populous, which also is kind of a worrying thing as well. But nonetheless, they've got a good team of people They've got developers, they've got financial consultants, and they've got someone who does risk consulting as well, which is really important to have people who have that experience in the consulting world and in general finance overall. So, nonetheless, do I think that Populous could be one of the big coins? Yes, guys, I really do think this is interesting. I think that it's going for a multi-trillion-dollar market, meaning that that is a very good selling point as is. And if they're even just slightly successful, that's billions of dollars in annual revenue that they'd be taking away from that traditional industry. So, guys, I'm very optimistic about it. However, I will say the last thing to critique, and I've said it before, they need to market this coin a little bit better. And I'd be happy to give some recommendations. And if you guys have any more questions about the coin, feel free to let me know in the comments below. I'll try to describe it as best as I can. But the best resource I can recommend is the white paper. And make sure to read through it if you're going to be making any large forms of investments so you really understand how it all works. I gave a very brief description of it in this video, guys. And that's kind of what my videos are meant to do. So, anyways, that's it, guys, for the video. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you guys have any comments or questions down below, leave them in the comments, along with any other coins that you guys would like me to cover. But anyways, I will see you all in the next video. Stay tuned, guys.